It's really chaotic, which is exactly what you're going for, but it's chaotic to the point where it's hard to read. I think I would choose like 3 poses and do all your chaos within those 3 poses, like hit them and hold them and do the chaos within them. So for example, like this one, I think this pose works. This is a pose that I would hit. I mean, you'd play within it, but you'd slam down here and then within this pose, go like that. And with, hold on, I'm dizzy. And then you'd move to a new one. So it'd start here and then go, but better. Maybe you could go into this one. I like this one. Hold this pose. I feel like I barely even get to read it. You go through it so fast, but it's really funny. What if you were to hold this pose longer? Might straighten his leg. On this one, I wouldn't keep the ankle completely straight down. I would break it a little bit. It's nice to know where the ankle is and not have it in a completely straight line with the lower leg. But yeah, I mean, I would keep this, I would make this, see if you can make this more about that tongue waggling in there. Hold this pose and let us see it. I wonder what it would look like if he was really outstretching his arm here too. And you have this like really vigorously strumming or bowing or whatever you would call it on the violin while his tongue is waggling, but you hold this pose for a while and you let us see it and the craziness within that pose. So if you have this one, and then, you know, I actually kind of like this one too. I think this one's cool. So what if we combine this one, spend time here, let us see this, spend time here, and then here, what do we miss in the middle? It's this one, which is kind of a less extreme version of this one. And then these are all kind of repeats of what we saw earlier. So yeah, maybe you could combine this one to this one, is that during the course of this thing, that you also kind of then move it over to here. And during the course of that, he changes the position of the violin and the bow. But he progresses while maintaining that general overall pose. So you're working crazy within this one, and then you kind of move it over to work into this one. Instead of continuing to reverse his spine and do like these really crazy pose changes that I think are actually making it harder to track him. And so maybe 3 is too few. Maybe you could do 4. Maybe you could find another one in between. So 1, 2, somewhere in here, come up with something else. Maybe he could be playing it more like a guitar, like holding it across his body and strumming up and down. Or maybe you could do like the behind the head playing or some other rock star thing. This one's great. So maybe I would find one more in between there. And then for the ending, I wonder if he could come back further to being more calm and reserved and elegant. Right now he's kind of halfway between. He's got the wide stance and the spread open arms that feel more like this guy and less like this guy. So my suggestion would be on the final pose, how about he maybe goes more internal? Maybe you come back to that kind of like exclamation point feeling, but now he actually pulls everything inside. So that's supposed to be that he's kind of like this. So you're hitting this like exclamation point at the end and bringing things internal. So it's kind of jumping back through that contrast to the more internal and reserved and elegant guy and contained, because he just spent all this energy to the outside and now he's going to bring it back in and just be very still and contained. And I think that'll help push those extremes, exaggerate the differences and contrast between those two parts of his personality.